This this session is not being recorded, so this is day one of our takeaways and aha moments from Think and Grow Rich 5, conducted by Paul Martinelli and Roddy. So if you would like to, did you have a chance to kind of think about what was or were perhaps the takeaways from day one, first of all?
Yes, because I haven't looked at day 2 yet.
Okay.
So what was really eye-popping to me was that courage line.
It's what?
Wasn't it called the courage line?
Courage.
Below and above the what line is that called?
The line of courage, yeah.
Yeah.
Above
that,
and below the line.
Right. That particular and I'm gonna go back and look at it. I really wanna study that a little bit more. But it really helped you. I think I talked with you last night about that love and fear.
Mm-hmm.
And the opposites. You know, we always think about love and hate as being really opposites. But when you look at the root itself, we know that love in itself is the root, but fear is the root of hate.
Yeah.
But just to see where I operate below the line or above the line. And
right.
What I want to be consistent above the line in every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of areas where I was below the line. And it was really disturbing to me to see that I am below that line of courage. And that just means that when he was just talking about some of the reasons why we don't do things is because of fear.
Right.
And I recognize that in my life a lot. So I want to break that. I want that to be something that I work on while I'm yet going through this mastermind.
Gotcha. I think it's interesting. Well, and it is interesting that based on what you were saying, they're actually called the 7 levels of character.
Mm-hmm.
So while we might start out below the line, and many of us are operating from a position of below the line of courage, one of the things that was said that's significant is that you want to look at the things that are below the line of courage that actually apply in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to operate or be moving towards operating above the line of courage.
Right.
And, I think if we be honest, and that was said in the lesson as well, if you're not honest, that's one of those negative things that's below the line of courage as well. But if we be honest, we all have these challenges that we have to overcome and work through that are below the line of courage. But you really want to. And awareness, again, was something that I'm sure was brought up. That awareness is the first step, is the stepping stone towards making that happen. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go over that particular lesson again and take some more notes, take notes this time.
Yeah.
And see I know what I have in my spirit already, but I know I probably missed some other things along the way that will help me reach my desired goals. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there was certainly a lot of takeaways for me, but the one takeaway that stood out the most for me was the feedback that Paul said that he had gotten or picked up from calls, mentorship calls with the John Maxwell team,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe question and answer calls from some previous TAGR, Think and Grow Rich, where people had revealed their struggles with making the kind of progress that they really wanted to make. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he says that the question that would be posed in those conversations, those Q&A sessions, is this: how do I remove these three negative energies, or how do I break through these three negative energies? The resentment, the resistance, and the revenge. How do you break through those? And he said the answer to that question is through the three missing chapters. It's forgiveness, tithing, and love. Those three things all hold the key to breaking through resentment, resistance, and revenge. That
Well,
certainly,
that should preach in the church, huh?
yeah. Mm-hmm. It would if it would if as the word say, let them that have ears to hear. Yeah. So. Okay. And then, of course, like I said, there were some other things that was certainly, I think everyone, like even on the Facebook page, not everyone, a lot of people, even on the Facebook, or people on the Facebook page, made comments about the resentment, resistance, and revenge. And, I think the other thing, since it's just us then, and we're going to be finished up here in a minute, so we won't have to use all of our time, but the other thing that was a big takeaway, and I've heard it before, but I certainly had let it, my awareness about it was different this time, is that we all have learning models.
Mm-hmm.
And we have learning models of success and learning models of failure. And obviously we want to identify those learning models that we have and operate in the one that gives us the best chance for success and not failure. And of course, he used the example about the bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
That the first step is level of awareness. In our learning model, the first aspect of it is level of awareness. The second is our core beliefs. And the third is understanding and application of the principles in that particular model. And then he used the example about his awareness about riding a bike and that people could ride a bike, but he didn't. In his core beliefs, he didn't believe that he could ride it. Uh, uh, and certainly there was some uneasiness with the whole balance thing. His experience that would have helped shape his model of learning was him and his brothers had tried to balance stuff before, like balancing things on their head and that kind of stuff. And in doing that, they had learned that you be very methodical and slow, right? So that it doesn't fall off your head.
Mm-hmm.
But that belief didn't serve him well in trying to learn how to ride a bike. His neighbor explained to him, because she had a high level of awareness, that to learn to ride a bike, going slow wasn't the way to maintain your balance. Going fast was the way to get momentum and subsequently balance, right?
Mm.
The slower you go on a bike, the more you lose your balance, right? When you come almost to a complete stop, you can't stay up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You lose your balance. But as you speed up, you learn that you have your balance. So what he had learned about riding a bike actually was a learning model of failure. Hey there, Linda.
Hey, man, I completely forgot about the thing. I'm sitting on the couch.
That's fine. You're up. You can tell us what your biggest takeaway was.
I was 1 second. Let me get my notepad here. I only watched the first.
We're actually talking about day one. I'm trying to stay a day behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see what I got. When he was talking about the we had talked about the burning bridges things before.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it in the sense he said, some of those bridges could be burning those false beliefs, that we kind of created. So that stood out to me. I just heard you talking about the bike thing. I wrote that down as well. When he said that he had the awareness that others could do it, but lacked the belief that he could do it. I think that kind of hit home for me, because it's like we see people doing kind of the things we aspire to do, and it's like it seems so far-fetched, for me personally, because it's like I don't necessarily have the principles, I guess, to make it attainable to me. But as I'm learning to kind of surround myself with that knowledge and people that do have that knowledge, it becomes just a little more obtainable for me. He had a few gems in there. The 3 R's were good.
Yeah.
The resentment, the resentment, man. His definition was totally different from mine.
Yeah. Any negative emotion toward any person, place, thing, condition, or circumstance, or thought, or idea.
Hey, man, never. Hey, it was just that people for me. That's what.
Oh yeah. When he said any person, place, thing, any.
Hey, man. I always use that for people. He said all this other stuff. I was like, whoa, I ain't thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it starts to make sense, because guess what? He says if you don't deal with the resentment, then because it's energy, and energy can only do 2 things, right? Express itself and expand. Then that resentment, even towards an idea, a thought, towards yourself, towards where you are in life, actually turns into resistance. The second step. Yeah, so it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Um, one other thing I took out of it, and I don't even know if this was in there, other than the fact that maybe I extrapolated it from there, and it wasn't even in there. But I got up early this morning, been up early, was praying, and I believe that this came out of that awareness about that author's preface. And so I wrote this down. Belief absolutely drives behavior. And if I truly believe that I can't fail, then my behavior and actions will look different than when doubt and unbelief are present.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so again, if we subscribe to the fact that belief drives behavior, then if you go back to what you was talking about with that bicycle example, when we believe that, when we have an awareness that other people are doing these things and that it's possible, but we don't believe that we can do it, then that belief dictates our behavior.
Mm.
And we won't do. So in other words, we're operating from the behavior that has come out of doubt and unbelief rather than the behavior that manifests itself from believing that we can do it. And he used the example is that his neighbor, she had a higher level of awareness about what you said, the principle of trying to balance a book or an egg or whatever it is on your head is not the same as trying to ride a bike and maintain your balance.
Yeah.
So go back to what David and I said right at the beginning. We were talking about that awareness is important, right? And,
Yeah.
So it is.
And I think being aware of what's actually true, I think I started going to like a little counseling thing, and we started, of course they started digging up all of this stuff, and she said we do that because she said the current you is operating from a belief system from which you created throughout your childhood, and it could be because it's Christian based, so she was like even with the fall of Adam and Eve, there's a belief system that was even built from, just sin being entered into this thing. And she said, but the good thing about it is we have the truth, which is, the word, and we're able to take our created belief system and run it across the belief system of Christ, and you'll see your stuff begin to kind of fall away. So I think it's so important to find out what that real truth is. What does God actually say about me? Not necessarily what I believe about me, right, but what does he actually say about me? And getting those principles and start working that. And I think it's been helpful. I think just to be able to just kind of, I know we talked about it before, but being able to kind of go back and put some events with some behavior, I think it's been really helpful.
Oh yeah. It's important. It's important because of what I had up from the very beginning when we first started. I'm going to pop it up real quick. I think I'm going to pop it up real quick. I had this up at the beginning. So what you're talking about going, even though maybe you've talked about things, maybe you experienced things again. I love this quote by Zig Ziglar, right? It gives me permission to engage in something again and again, right?
Right.
Guess what? It's just because you've heard it before doesn't mean that you're going to hear the same thing this time because you're at a different level of awareness.
Right.
And so this might be a case where more is better. The more times I expose myself to opportunities to really dig down and find out, why am I, why are things in my thinking, in my actions like this?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think because I was debating about doing it because I was like, man, I got a lot going on. So I'm doing that. And of course I have, kind of homework and stuff I do from that. And Tracy and I are taking the financial coach course. So we're taking that as well. So I was like, I was going to use it. I was like, I got a lot going on, so I probably won't do this. But then I was like, you would feel this hour watching TV or, any other productive thing.
Yeah.
So why not align, with some more stuff that could get you to where you're
So
trying
you are going to be a Dave Ramsey financial coach?
Yeah, we actually started January. I think we're about a quarter of the way.
Hey, look at you.
We're taking the course, and we'll try to monetize it at some point, but just trying to make a business out of it, and and of course we'll bless people in the process. But that was a part of our plan to just get more.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Anything else then?
That's all I got.
Okay.
And I was looking at when I got on, I said, yeah, DeVita said it was about 30 minutes. That thing said 1 hour. I said,
well, yeah. So the first one they did a bunch of talking, but today's lesson was only like 30 minutes.
Okay.
And if you cut out all the kind of promotions and stuff they did at the beginning, that other one really was about 40 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they did a lot of talking.
They did a lot of promotion.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Good stuff. I'm excited.
All right then. Well, we'll see you all tomorrow, or when we see you.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Love you, brother. Take care.
All right. Take care.